Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman,
and I am
our Sunday morning call-in show for this Sunday, March 8th, 2026. This is number 196 in the series of call-ins. As we are talking about today, it's a Zuffa number 4 Sunday. Yeah, Zuffa's moving right along with their cards, man. It's a great thing. We're looking forward to what they do. Zuffa. Yeah. So welcome everybody. Good morning. I hope that you have been raised in your right frame of mind this morning. Huh? Because this is the day that the good Lord has made. Huh? Yeah. I was a little bit late, you guys, because I have to admit, I was over there on Coach Hudson's channel listening to him cook this morning, and I lost track of time. But I was in there, that brother's over there cooking, man. If you ain't subscribed to Coach Hudson, please do so, because the coach of the Truth Tellers is a young mind, but an experienced soul, and he is bringing the real truth to the masses. Yeah. So we should embrace that. You know what I mean? And so I was over there, and I was so absorbed in his conversation and what he was sharing, I forgot. I was like, oh, I got my own show to do. So here I am, a little bit late, but hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And just as I was checking out over there, they were, he and Drew Titan were talking about some of the things that we've been dealing with YouTube. And it's an ongoing thing. You know, listen, right now they're messing with my audio. My last stream was clear as a whistle, you know. But it is what it is. We're going to make it through this, man. We're going to make it through. Because all of this is evidence. It's evidence against those people. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is one of the reasons why I tell you guys, make sure you share the content. Because even if you got your own page, share it to your own community page. Because it tweaks the algorithm. It puts us up in this situation where eyes can be upon us. Huh? Yeah. So don't mind if I have some pauses here, because the pauses will allow this audio to reset itself. When they don't detect my voice over a certain span of time, it smooths out. But I must say that my stream health is excellent. It says my stream is healthy. But they do this kind of thing to you now because they want you to leave. Huh? They want you to leave. Don't support. Because they fiddle with my numbers. They fiddle with my monetization. And they fiddle with putting me out there, you know, where my notifications. So this is another way that they attack. Yeah. But we're gonna get through this. Take a quick moment and do a roll call, see who we got in the building. Jimmy Bernard, Eric Jordan, Joe Gagliari, Mark Wonderland, Aladdin Saddam, Universal Truth, Mr. Shelton. Yeah. I said you keep just popping into the building. So I recommend that you guys also go over and follow me on Rumble. Uh, It's funny, I can do a lot of straight up on Rumble, and there's nothing. But on YouTube, it is what it is. So I'm recommending you guys follow me on Rumble. That's the way to get it very straight and clear. The brother Drew Titan is in the building. What's good? Yeah. But as I said, you know, I would make certain that I keep my options open. That's why we got the Rumble app going. Yeah, we're gonna get it going though. We're gonna get it going, man. See, like right now it's cleared up a little bit, right? So okay, why isn't it like this 100% of the time? Because somebody is out there messing with the stream. And I say that over the airwaves, so not only that you all know, but we're sending the message to them that we know what they're doing. See, because it's just like when they can snatch you off the air. If you did something, you know, inappropriate or whatever, they can do all kind of things. They can send disruptions. They've done it to all of us, actually. If you watch anybody in the LDBC at some point or another, they've done this to all of us. So don't think that Stormy's just over there crying sour grapes, because no, that's not what that is. You know, but we say this so we put our audience, our listening audience and supporters in the know of what we go through. Yeah. Yeah, Drew, I was listening to that while I was over there. That's why I was a little late getting started, because I was listening to Coach Hudson. And I forgot I got to do my own show. I had to sit back and pour me a cup of coffee, man, and I'm sitting back and listening to Coach just run through the numbers. And I'm like, he talking to you and stuff. And I was like, cool, you know, they trying to figure out what's going on. Drew is in his chat, but he can't see him and this and that. And then I was like, wait a minute. I looked at the clock on my computer. I'm like, holy crap, I'm supposed to be live myself. Yeah. So, you know, listen, man. All that is that I was enjoying what was going down over there on Coach Hudson, man. The coach of the truth tellers. That's what's up. We got over here in the Rumble rant, we got my man, EJ, said, my favorite day of the week, answering the bell with Stormybman. The sanctioning body must be stopped and burned beyond recognition for the nonsense that they're doing. I'm glad that Zuffa boxing exists. Heavyweight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you on that donation over there, EJ, man. Thank you so much. We got LPRN over there on Rumble as well. Salute to you guys. Listen, whoever's in the Rumble, write in the chat. so I can acknowledge you and so that you guys can show that strength over there on that other platform. Even if you're in this regular chat, just write in over there because I can see the numbers. It tells me who's over there. Right now it says we got about 9 people over there on Rumble. Let's raise the roof. Huh? Let's raise the roof. We gotta do these things, man, to show that we have what's called solidarity, huh? That's what's up. You know I'm always ready, huh? You know I'm ready. Yeah. So check me out. And this morning I'm sporting, you guys see what I'm wearing today? I got my Black Gentleman Grooming Company tee on. That's right. Shout out to Junior the Truth. Brother got his monetization back. I applaud that. Yes, sir. Let's get it. You know what I mean? That's right. That's what's up. They wrongfully took his monetization too. But I'm a little bit more of a rebel than Junior is, and they probably won't give me mine back. But guess what? Over on Rumble, I can fly like an eagle. Yep. King Styles over there on Rumble. What's going on? He says, salute Stormy in chat. Let's get ready to rumble. Yes, sir. And salute to the brother, Drew Titan, over there with the Rumble rap. He says, F. Miguel and his entire F-ass family. More fire. Yes, sir. Listen, that's what's up. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I know the picture's better over there on Rumble and everything. Y'all can see all my old men marks and everything. But, you know, that's okay. You know, I can still deliver a mean right hand when I want to and a kick in the balls, huh? Don't forget, Stormy watched them Kung Fu flicks. I know what to do, huh? Yeah! But, we're going to get ready to open them lines up, man, so we could talk some boxing today because, you know, this is the thing. The latest news, and that's what, you know, EJ was referring to, is this thing, you know, Zuffa boxing, man, has really ruffled some feathers in the sport of boxing. And this evening with the fight with Opataya and Glanton challenging for the Cruiserweight World title and Rumble's initiated World Championship title belt will be presented to the winner this evening. The IBF decided to pull a WBC-led rule, huh? A rule meaning pulling rules out of the anal area, huh? To say why they don't want to endorse. But listen, man. They let this get all the way up to the day before the weigh-in or the day of. And then they decide they're going to pull their support for this out. And I left in my video that I did on this last night, I left a link for you to click on to read further the article of why the IBF president, Daryl Peoples, decided that he wanted to pull their support out of this unification match. Because that's what it was going to be, being that Opataya was a unified champion with the Ring Magazine IBF titles and the Zuffa title on the line. So this was a unification bout. Jai Opataya paid his sanctioning fees, $80,000 in advance. They didn't have to come after him like Shakur and like they tried to do with Bud Crawford in the aftermath of the fight and all of that a few days later. This man has paid his fees up front, which means that he wants his belts and he wants to represent. He wants to be undisputed. So why are you throwing a wrench into that? Yeah, EJ, it's 13 now. It was 9 when I said so. And I appreciate the 13. But yeah, this man did all of the right things. So don't try to villainize him. Don't try to make this like, oh, Shakur is a rebel. We're going to take his belt from him. Because they took Shakur's belt. They took Bud Crawford's belt. Funny how these fighters are fighters of color. They're not Mexican. They're not Latino. Ryan Garcia gets 2 title shots in a row after losing the first one. Now he's celebrated as some pretty damn good fighter. Who did he beat? He couldn't beat Rolly, which people thought lowly of, huh? And he beat Barrios, a walking statue at 147 that had the belt around his waist that had Ryan's name on it before the fight even happened. Remember, they wouldn't let him unify against Devin Haney or the Kid Crocker. They made him stand pat. They toyed with the idea of other things, but that's all they was doing. They was playing in your face the whole time. What in the world did Jai Opataya do wrong? Even if you're a millionaire or on your way to becoming one, $80,000 is a lot of money, whether it's to them out of their pocket or you out of yours or mine. You understand? Funny how they took the belt, but they didn't give him his money back. Since he paid in advance and the fight hasn't happened yet, and they say that they're not going to support it now, shouldn't he have his money? No. You know why? Because they're on the same bullshit that Suleiman is on over there. They want their fingers in your pockets. I'm sorry, my people. I had to refresh the page for the call in. So if someone was trying to call before now, it's ready to go now. But I had to refresh it. That was something I had to do. Sometimes, refresh it. I agree with that, Drew. We all need to be on Rumble. That Nazi style of policing content creators is what they're doing on YouTube. Yes. And Mr. Shelton, you're right. Barrios didn't even try. He probably got 2 envelopes, the one for the fight and the one for his performance. And maybe he didn't even get that. Maybe he got some type of a promise from them because, you know, they're Latin and they support each other, huh? And they do things that kind of give each other breaks here and there with one another. That's what happens. Nepotism. And they don't think that we are smart enough to understand that, how that works. Jonathan Simon, what's good with you? Blessings to you, brother. So come on, family, the lines is open. Give us a call and see what's going on. But right now, this Zuffa thing is very hot. They're on some bull crap, man, big time. And there's no way someone like Jai Opataya, who all he wants, he's no different from Devin, huh? He wants to be undisputed. He wants to fight all of the guys. Do you know that going back when Chris Billum Smith had one of the titles, I think it was the WBA or the WBO, he said he wanted to fight Chris Billum Smith. So Chris Billum Smith said he won't fight Opataya for less than $1 million. So Opataya said, okay, fine. Pay him the $1 million. Let me fight for the title against him. Do you know that Chris Billum Smith hung up the phone, didn't talk no more, and went in a different direction and got his ass whooped by somebody else? So it's not just Devin that's dealing with this foolishness, huh? It's all sprinkled throughout the sport. I played on a video that I got coming tomorrow morning, my premiere. A soundbite from Jerron Ennis, newly signed over to Matchroom. He said he didn't have a hit list, but he will fight anybody. They asked him about Conor Benn. He didn't say, oh yeah, I'll fight Conor Benn. He's like, I'll fight anybody. You know what that tells me? When you don't answer the directive directly. You make it general. Do you know what general means? General means the entire, but not specific. So if you don't get specific, they can't nail you down. Opataya said he wanted Chris Billum Smith. He wanted the title, but he also wanted the guy who held the title, because the benefit out of fighting that way is you beat the man who had the title, not emailed the title, not picked it up out of a garbage can, not picked it up off the ground that somebody dropped, and definitely not given to you because they stripped it off of someone. A stolen piece of merchandise. He wants to win it in the ring. You see the difference? That's a big difference. That's old school mentality. He's not sitting up talking about, I'm the best cruiserweight in the world and, you know, I'll fight anybody. Okay, we got 347. That's my brother, Drew Titan, in the building. What's going on with you, man? How you feel this morning?
I feel great this morning. Got some stuff done early, back in the house, doing some laundry. So I got a couple of minutes. I just want to call in. I'm actually multitasking because I'm actually on the YouTube studio right now, giving them that work. You know, one of the videos all the way back from February 20th is still in processing. And I already had a conversation with these fools about this last week, and they said they're going to rectify it and I let a week go. I'm talking to them again. And then they obviously don't know what I'm talking about. But I saved the conversations that we have because I have it in my email bookmark. So nobody knows what I'm talking about. But they're going to find out. Because like I always say, documentation beats conversation. So I'm multitasking. So if I get quiet for a second, it's because I'm going back and forth with these schools. But anyway, if it's not obvious to date that boxing needs to go into a serious makeover, a serious overhaul, then you're a foolish mortal and you have no idea. You have no idea what's going on. The magnifying glass has been shined on the spot on this sport for a long time. The only reason that people don't pay attention to it is when their favorite fighter that they love on, and when I say love on, I mean that with total disrespect. I'm really calling you a homosexual. You love on Ryan Garcia, you love on Tyson Fury, you love on Shakur and Keyshawn, and you don't love on, you don't appreciate the fighters that are actually doing things for the sport, actually actively pursuing being the best. You want to love on guys. Guys want to love on guys. That's what we're dealing with here. Shout out to Miguel and his all-colored flag and his pillow-biting boyfriend, Jerome. What they've done to Ja Opataya, this ain't the WBC, this is the IBF that did this, okay? What they did to him is outrageous. And this is what I'm saying. We, as supporters of the sport, you say, okay, why do we watch the sport? Everyone says, oh, I love Tank because Tank gives a lot of knockouts. All right, fine. Ja Opataya is giving you that. He's giving you that. He's giving you what you want. And he's actively in pursuit of being the best. Now, Stormy, I think this is the second time they did something like that. They said, if you go over there on Riyadh, he's going to take that belt. He said, take the belt, I'll get it back. And he got it back. This time, we have to ask ourselves, do we pay to watch these fighters walk to the ring wearing some belts that we don't even know the history of? Or do we pay to watch what? The fights. I pay to watch the fights. It's cool I can talk about the accolades. I can talk about that. I can. But when you have these sanctioning bodies devalue their own product, it's time to go. It's time to go. The WBC told that white man Chris Mannix what we've known the whole time. They're doing what's good for business. That's why Ryan Garcia could lose his last fight and jump 20 fighters and get a title shot with no VADA testing. That's why he could do things like that. That's why he could pick some guy from K1 or whatever to fight the boxing, the last undisputed boxing champion we've had. All right? That's why he can do that. He told us. And I said, what is he talking about? Now Usyk is fighting some kickboxer who turns out to be Tyson Fury's chief sparring partner. You understand? We're being worked. When are you tired of being sick and tired? Now, if you like the old regime and the fighter that you love on, Homo, is benefiting from it, that's more the reason why I want this thing to fall. I did a live stream last year, and I said boxing must fall. Boxing has to die. When I say boxing has to die, I mean the whole way of doing things. A side, B side. This guy's on Matchroom and this guy's on the PBC. There's a lot of politics. This guy's on Top Rank. This guy, the Top Rank champion can't fight the Matchroom or the Queensbury champion. I'm sick of it. Because the truth is, a lot of those guys want to fight each other, but they're bounded by their bosses. Because if the bosses are saying there, look, my guy might lose to this guy, but I can get 10 fights in 3 years, and I can make a ton of money, not we. I can make a ton of money, and they're not going to care if this guy doesn't fight his contemporary because he got perfect straight teeth and people love him. And he sells out for everything faster than Michael Johnson. I am not a fan like that. If your guy's nice and he got a contemporary and the guy over here is nice, they need to find out who's the better amongst them. I'm tired of this. So sometimes I remember watching the Sho Kazuki movie, and the line he had was only a ninja can stop a ninja. That's the line in the movie. And his contemporaries happened to be some white dude who went to Japan and studied ninjutsu, and I forgot the name of that movie. But Sho Kazuki said, he said, yo, we gotta do this, we gotta do it. And Sho Kazuki stopped him. He said, no, only a ninja can stop a ninja. Y'all can't deal with this guy. I gotta do it. But if you look at the history of ninjas, ninjas were not good people. They were cheaters. They were anti-samurai. Samurai fought with honor. Ninjas were sneaky. So, enter Dana White. Do I say he's the perfect businessman? No. No. I know what he is. But you know what? There's nothing more satisfying than you motherfuckers dealing with a devil. Y'all made Dana White. And he was over there on UFC for 10 years. So, man, I wanted to get in the boxing. And y'all never thought he'd get in the boxing because there was too much going on. He didn't have enough money. And we saw how he treated his guys in the UFC. And said, man, he ain't gonna do nothing in boxing. And it's a turkey out of sheep. And the only way that turkey can step on guys like Hearn and Warren and Arum and even Al Heyman, who ain't been around long. He only been around about a little over 12 years. Making us for 12 years, which is nothing. Only a ninja can stop a ninja. He went and got a devil to take care of devils. Y'all deserve Dana White. And I'm enjoying the car fight. I'm watching it. I got my marshmallows out. I'm making s'mores off of your car fire. Shout out to Giles Patai. I see the work. I don't see anything else. And I'll land my plane right there.
Check this out, man. So I had a premiere video that premiered yesterday morning, talking about the fight and everything. But then later in the day, I found out, salute to the queens of the ring, queens of the boxing talk, because they had a conversation about it. And I think it was Nick J that mentioned that. He's like, oh, did you hear that IBF has snatched the belt from Opataya? And I was like, whoa, because I was listening to them, but, I hadn't been online and see the latest news and stuff. I know they had to, do the weigh-in and all of that. But I'm like, what the hell? They done took the man's belt? So I went back and I did a little research and I found out there's a couple of things attached to that. One, Opataya paid his sanctioning fee in advance. He paid, how much was it? $80,000. He paid that in advance. That's before the fight. Okay? We're not even talking about, he didn't just pay it yesterday or the day before. He paid it like when he went over to sign with Zuffa, he let them know that he was going to be fighting with Zuffa, and they was like, cool. And he was like, we're going to fight for a Zuffa Cruiserweight title too. They was like, cool. He paid his sanctioning fee. They were like, cool, give me the money, right? Now, they knew the promotion leading up to the fight that the Zuffa Cruiserweight title would be on the line. It's been advertised. They knew that the Zuffa belt would be a part of this situation. So it was going to be Jai's Ring Magazine belt, the IBF title, and the newly founded Zuffa title belt for Cruiserweight division. All of those belts would be on the line for this event. Now, this is the third thing. The president of the IBF, Daryl Peoples is his name. He said that he didn't like the way that the IBF belt was being positioned when they were having like presses and things leading up to the fight this week. So they decided just a day or so ago to take the belt out of being available for this fight. And they pulled this stupid article, R something 5 number article, whatever, out of their ass. and gave some kind of riffraff, and I included the links in my video that I did last night, so people can click on that and read it for themselves. But he is talking about that, you know, when they take the presses at the face off, you know, and everything, they stand there for the publicity photos. It's either Dana White or one of the guys that work for Zuffa holding the Zuffa belt up like this, and Jai got the Ring magazine belt on one shoulder and the IBF on the other. What is that? He's got the belts on his fucking body. They don't like how the belt was being shown in the promotion, so they decided to remove it? Are you fucking kidding me? They made up a reason to not make their belt a part of this because they know that this is getting ready to get big. So they do the wrong thing by taking their belt out of the situation, and as if to say, like, you know, we're taking our ball and going home. Well, guess what? That's why most of the gyms have multiple balls, don't they? Huh? Because of shit like that, shit mentality like that. That damn sanctioning body president needs to car fire for his ass. Because you waited till the day before the freaking fight. You already knew what this was, but then you're going to come out like this and then try to give some kind of explanation of rules. Dude, you took that man's sanctioning fee in advance.
Yep.
Refund him his damn money and apologize to him.
I bet you there's something in the paperwork that says there's no refunds to the money. Just like hold on, this guy's responding to me. Hold on. There's just like Mauricio Sullivan has a you know, he says it in the rules. If you have my belt and you go anywhere else to fight for something else, whatever purse you make, I get 3% of that. And that's what I'm saying. Everyone needs to drop those belts and go to Zuffa. Everybody. Put the pressure on these clowns. Everybody in the IBF ranking shit, they should look at y'all outside and say, you know what, that could be me. That could be me. And a lot of y'all guys in the rankings are getting disrespected anyway.
Dude, it's one of the most ridiculous things. Because Suleiman and how he does things, remember, he'll walk and fart and come up with a new rule. But this that the WBA pulled, that the IBF pulled, that was something totally different, Drew and Chat, because they knew from go what was going to happen. It's not, see, think about it like this, and this is why I stress this. I want everybody listening to hear me clearly.
I can't.
Jai Opataya is from Australia. He looks like a man that could be biracial, but he's from Australia, probably from the Samoan bloodline or whatever. That man fights. He only has wanted to become undisputed. They've been keeping him from being undisputed over the past 4 years. They've been pushing him and pushing him. Why don't you move up to heavyweight? Move up to heavyweight. There's no money in the cruiserweights anyway. He wanted to be undisputed. He still wants to be undisputed. And they're doing everything they can to prevent that man from advancing to what he wants to do, including making up rules, stripping belts away, because just like when they took that title away from him because he wanted to fight, he had an offer from Turkey to fight on the Riyadh season card. And that gentleman that he knocked out in one round, the IBF took the belt from him at that time because they were like, well, we're not sanctioning that fight because it's not a IBF promoted thing or whatever. But it was a chance for Jai to make some money.
Yeah.
And he was entitled to a, what do they call it, a voluntary. So he goes over there, he does that, and so they made the belt vacant, but he come back in the graces of the IBF and say, I want to fight for the vacant title. They put him right back in there against the guy who had the title, Maris Breeders, who he fought a hell of a fight with the first time, beat Maris Breeders, and got a broken jaw as a result. The second fight, he beats the crap out of Maris again, and Maris decides to retire. His only other loss was to Alexander Usyk, who was the former undisputed cruiserweight champion before moving up to heavyweight. So in other words, you're talking about a good lineage of representation there. It's not like Jai was trying to leave the IBF in the mud. They did this. And now they do this time. But they took his money first. That's fucking robbery. They took his money, they took his title. And now, given he's successful tonight against Glanton, he'll be Ring Magazine and Zuffa title. And guess what?
And that's the only important title. Yeah.
The IBF will be out to sea with some shit because they won't have proper representation. But the reputation that they'll have is for this that they pulled. This is why we have to talk about these things. This is why we have to educate the masses and put it out there and let you know what the real shit is in boxing.
Right. Right.
You don't have to like Dana White, but like what the situation is standing for. Because legislation is coming with the situation. In the regular aspect of boxing, there's no legislation. This is why you guys can make rules up as they go along. The Mauricio Suleiman and now is Daryl Peoples guy. He should not have even said that he didn't like the way that the belt was being shown. In other words, like they had the Zuffa belt over his belt. If you're the Ring Magazine champion, you're the recognized champion of the world.
Yep.
The Ring Magazine belt dates before any of those others.
This is ridiculous.
And you don't pay a fee for the Ring Magazine belt. And Turkey has made it even more valuable since he took over because he encrusted it with some elements that make the belt of real value. So you can have that belt in your home, in your trophy case or whatever. You fall on hard times, you take that belt somewhere to pawn it off or whatever, you get paid. I'm not hoping that for any fighter. But what I'm saying is the belt has royal value to it now. With the gold that's encrusted in it and everything. What is it they said it's like almost 400,000 or 500,000 that belt is worth?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
How much is the WBC worth? How much is the IBF worth? How much is the WBO worth?
3%.
How much is the WBA worth?
3% in debt. 3% debt. You paid to have that belt. And what are you paying for? Not a goddamn thing. For what? You paid for. I would not pay for a WBC strap ever because of what they represent, what they've done. Even if you're really good, and you imagine you rank number 2 in the world in the WBC, and then Ryan Garcia leapfrogs you just because they like how he looks.
Listen, check this out. Lester Martinez is about to fight in a couple of weeks in a WBC 168 super middleweight title fight. But for the past 3 years, Christian and Billy was fighting in all these eliminators. What happened with Christian and Billy? Does anybody know? Because when they fought, Martinez and Billy, they fought to a draw. Did Billy not want to fight him again? That's understandable, because how many damn, eliminators do I have to fight before I get a world title? And don't forget, Suleiman tried to tell Chris Mannix that Ajit Cabiel doesn't mind being the what do they call it? Interim champ. But I'm sure he would like to fight Alexander Usyk for the WBC belt. But why are you keep continuing having this man pay sanctioning fees to be interim, and then at any given time, and this is going to happen, Tyson Fury gets successful against Makhmudov, they're going to try to put him right back in there against Usyk again. So he leapsfrog after so-called being retired over someone like Ajit Cabiel? No! Cabiel deserves his title shot. Cabiel should leave Frank Warren and that bullshit Queensberry and go right over to Zuffa. Because guess who's on Zuffa? Usyk. Get your title shot, son.
And go over there. Drop the belts and leave the sanctioning bodies on bed with these companies.
They are.
Top rank WBO.
They're all the same.
WBO, WBC, and all these guys.
And Suleiman is the head of it because he knows how to talk the most shit. And he don't mind being the figurehead being known as the serpent. He doesn't mind that. But the thing about it is, he's not smarter than you. Everything he says that comes out of his mouth is spewed ignorance. It's almost like listening to that character that Damon Wayans played on In Living Color, sitting in the jailhouse. Remember that guy used to try to sound like he was smart, using words that didn't go together in sentences and stuff like that? That's Suleiman.
Yep.
Every time he get ready to talk, somebody should mute the fucking mic. Because you might as well be listening to the wind flapping through his ass cheeks. You'll get the same effect.
Yo, Stormy, sidebar, man. You got to see these people beat me in the head. They just told me that I had a copyright on it. That's why it's not properly uploaded. I said, they never said that in my last conversation because I rectified it. It's been a week. Then I said, what copyright? Because it's on my other channel is playing just fine. So my boxing channel that's not playing. And now they said, be right back in 5 minutes. You see? You see with these people?
Yeah, they're playing games.
Man.
And that's another reason why that we make more than one channel, right, Drew? Because
that's right.
It shows when they come to attack you. This is the thing. You can stand. You can stand on principle, and they can come at you with this foolishness. Like you go over there to Rumble, like you said, it's clear over there, right? You listening to me on YouTube and it's like popping and clicking and chopping. It's like, what is that? That's them. Just like they can snatch your broadcast off the air anytime they get ready to. They can do things like that to run interference. But like I've told my listeners, I said they do that because they want you to just leave. They want you to leave. They want you, oh, his shit is fucked up. Let me go. But see, if you notice, we've doubled down and we continue. I've had over 107 views to the live right now. If you stay, if you hunker down, if you dig in, then you prove them wrong. Because this is what you want to hear. This is where you want to be. This is the representation and the talk that you want to listen to. But if you play into their little bullshit, they'll keep doing these things. They have to really wait for me to violate to do something. And I am well within my range to say the things that I'm saying presently, because guess what? I am not denigrating the sport of boxing. I'm elevating the sport of boxing. That's what this show is about. Talking about the sport of boxing and the corruption that's in it. And it ain't got shit to do with these guys out there that's behind the scenes, and they may have their affinity for an individual or two that participates in the sport of boxing. Which is why you don't see me mentioning those names all the time, but I ain't told a lie on anybody.
You ain't got to. That's all we always say. Where's the lie? Point out the lie. If you can't do that, you just whine it. You just whine it like a little bitch. There's a lot of that running around here. Shout out to BSTV.
Absolutely,
I watched
man.
his video this morning.
Absolutely.
A lot of that.
Absolutely. We got more people that joined us. King Style Productions is over there on Rumble. Anton Bolton is over there. Then also in the building here, we got ATX, 41 Red, Royal Constrictor, Jay Grant Jr., I Am Trill Will. Coach Hudson is out there, Coach of the Truth Tellers. Man, you were cooking earlier. Court the Star Child is in the building. Chilltown. Appreciate all of you guys coming into the building. Just hit that like button for me. And if for those of you who are content creators, share the content to your own post page or whatever. Just share it. Just share it. You see? Because that's an endorsement of what you want as far as the real deal. If you don't want the real deal, then I wouldn't suggest that you share it. But you have to understand that, again, silence is consent, man. Silence is consent.
Right.
That means that you like what they're doing, the fuckery, as we call it, huh? If you are fed up with this mess, then show it. Show that you are fed up with it. I did not know that this Sunday morning that my show was going to be about what it is because of the corruption. It's like, I thought we were going to talk about the fight, give a little breakdown and be like, yeah, we can't wait to see the fight this evening. But these guys couldn't help themselves. They could not help themselves. They're trying to make the shit about them, the IBF. We're pulling our title out of this. Bye! Get the fuck out! The fight will go on. And people are going to get to see Jai Opataya in America, in Vegas, for the first time. And guess what? He's a pretty damn good fighter. I can't think of a better fighter to have the inaugural Zuffa belt title go to after he wins it or whatever, unless it was Devin Haney.
Man, it's all in due time. I know it's not moving fast enough for our likings, but this is gonna blow up, and we're not gonna be the type of people sitting around saying, "Hey, but what just happened? What just happened?" No, I'm gonna grandstand and say, "I told you so."
But Drew and Chat, I can't get over the fact that the man paid his sanctioning fees up front, and they knew the promotion. They knew it would be different if he pulled a Conor Benn, but he didn't do that. Do you see why you can see that there's so much imbalance and injustice in the sport of boxing? He didn't do what Conor Benn did. Conor Benn got offered, I guess they hit him up or whatever. He got in some negotiation talks and he jumped ship, which that's well within his right because he had an expired contract with Matchroom anyway. But this is not what Jai did. Jai went over there. He didn't have a deal with anybody, so he signed with Zuffa. The IBF knew about it. Then Zuffa said they're going to put their title on the line for the first time in Zuffa 4 with this Cruiserweight Championship fight. You got a man that's repping with the IBF and the Ring magazine. Let's not forget that because that means he's the best at Cruiserweight. Damn any of the other guys. Zerto and who's the third guy? I can't think of him right now. But there ain't nobody of notoriety. So You think about it like that. You're like, that's gonna be a good look for us. And then 2 days before the fight, they pull their belt out because they mad that the Zuffa guys were holding their belt up over this like this at the presser when the guys were standing for the face down. That is some weak shit, bro. But you took that man's money. You took that man's money. That's why I did that video last night.
Let me run. I'm dealing with this fool on YouTube. I'm about to put him in a blender.
Okay, man. Good luck with that. All right. Peace to you.
All right.
Salute to Tay, who just dropped in the building. B-Mac, what's good? Joe Gagliardi, what's good, man? Yeah. The lines are still open. Somebody else want to call in? Lines are open. Joe says, that's whack. I wasn't up to date with the title situation. Just bounced back in. Now getting the scoop. I was half asleep earlier. Worked late last night. That's okay, Joe. See, but this is why we bring you guys the information, man. Can you believe they did that to that guy? It's ridiculous what they did to Jai. And Jai is not a bad man. If you listen to him talk, all he wants to do is become an undisputed champion and then move forward with his career. That's all he wants to do. And they keep holding him back from that. They keep holding him back. And now they messing with my audio again. Snoopy Mac, what's good with you? I see you out there. Let me put my boogie woogie back on. And remember, you guys, you could go over to Rumble. The link is pinned at the top. You guys can go over to Rumble and you don't hear this distortion and everything over there. It's only YouTube doing this. YouTube is just like the IBF trying to run interference. Coach Hudson, you got a moment you can call in, brother? Call in. It'd be great to hear your voice on here. Growing with soul, what's good? And I don't even say these things like to be disregarding the brother Brandon Glanton, who's going to be challenging Optaya this evening. I would both fight as well, but Glanton is a person that has been basically an opponent over his past couple of fights. He's done well, but to understand that the representation is with Jai Optaya. So let's go, my people. Let's go. I want to hear some. I want to hear some feedback from the audience. Hey, Joe, I heard you say you're going over to Rumble. Why don't you call in, Joe? Joe could call in. EJ could call in. Tay could call in. Come on now. Show Stormy a little love and support by, I want to be able to speak to somebody. I know my man B-Mac could call in, but I'm trying to get some new voices in here. Okay, we got 267 calling. Who's on the line? Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
This B-Mac. Everybody's scared to call in. So I'll call in, even though I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm trying to get freshened up and caught up listening to you. I don't know what's going on.
What's good with you, man? How you feeling this morning?
Just getting back from the gym. Did a little sparring today. Got hit in the mouth.
Oh, that's what's up. Sometimes a little rap across the lips, like my man said in the movie Tombstone, you get some respect around here.
Yeah. Hey, the double jab and punching in combination works. Hey, especially when they timing you.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, this guy, he every time I throw my jab, he'd time my hand going back and he'd throw his punch so he would catch me going back. So what I did was throw combinations. That's what she said.
That's right. And
so
see,
I threw that right hand when my hand was coming back, and then the left hook behind it. Wow, he stopped that.
Yeah. See, that's what it's all about. You have to make the adjustments, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But what's going on, man? The IBF, what they done did now? And they feel like the WBC now? What's going on?
Listen, man. They stripped Jai Opataya of the title just before the weigh-in for the fight tonight, and they did it on the premise of saying that they weren't sanctioning this fight or whatever, but they allowed him to use the belt and promotion and everything leading up to the fight, even taking his paid in advance sanctioning fees of $80,000.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
And then they decided to give the reason that they were stripping him was they didn't like how their belt was being positioned during the pressers, face-offs and stuff, because Jai was holding the belts on his shoulder, the Ring magazine and the IBF on his shoulder when he was facing Glanton, and the Zuffa guys were standing in the background holding up the Zuffa belt up in the air like this. So, you know,
Okay.
it's an inaugural situation for Zuffa. Their first championship title belt on the line, you know, is vacant right now until they fight tonight. And, you know, they haven't had a championship fight before. So of course, they're marketing their fight, but the man who is being allowed to fight with his titles is Opataya. So the IBF decided in the last minute, the 11th hour, to strip the belt from him. It's
Isn't that
like,
crazy?
yeah. And see, that's the thing that we were having this conversation on, and Drew Titan was on with me just a little while ago on a call, and we was discussing it, but I did a full video on it last night. So if you go on my page, you'll see the video I did about it last night, I included the links for the articles that explain this situation, which really doesn't make any damn sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever because the IBF already knew that Jai was going to be fighting in this fight. It was going to be a championship fight, and the Zuffa belt was going to be on the line. So basically what they're doing is trying to say that they don't support Zuffa. That's what they're trying to really, the message that they're sending. But they didn't mind taking Jai's money, and they didn't mind allowing him to market it as a unification belt fight. So there's so many ways to look at the wrong side of this, but it's more of the Mauricio Suleiman bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like where they want to run interference. But that's what's good about Zuffa. You become a Zuffa champion, you don't have to worry about all that other foolishness. You don't.
So Zuffa is another sanctioning body belt?
It's a promotion. It's a promotion, and they're going to sanction their own bouts, and they will have a belt that don't require fees.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you're a named fighter and you're fighting for Zuffa, then that means that other fighters that may not have the name that you have, they may want to come over, right, and fight you.
Yeah.
But if you're under those sanctioning bodies or those poor promoters like Matchroom and Queensberry and Top Rank and all of that, guess what? You don't have to deal with the politics of all of that, because Zuffa is going to be just like the UFC, where they the best fighting the best at the end of the day. That's it. Alexander,
how do they make their money, the promotion?
Alexander Usyk has signed with Zuffa.
Okay.
That's the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
So when are they going to strip his belts? You understand? I mean, it's like you're going to wait to the day of his event or the day before his event and strip him too? Do you know how bad that's going to look?
Yeah. And I thought that IBF was fair, was more the fair sanctioning body.
Salute to Lala D out there. Good morning. Yeah, Lala D, this is the thing. There is no gain for them. They're losing in this. They would be better off supporting Jai in this fight. It would boost them up. But by doing this, it just continues to certify how corrupt the sanctioning bodies are. And that's what Dana White is hoping for. He's hoping for this kind of stuff because it's going to make him look better. Even though they don't think he should be a part of this, that he should be doing this or whatever, he don't belong in boxing. You made it very readily apparent that people like Turkey and he are needed for the sport with your shenanigans and your corruption and the fact that you're raping these fighters. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. And I hear that what's the name is suing the guy overseas. What's his the Arab guy getting sued, huh? Were they suing each other?
Frank Warren is trying to sue Turkey Al-Sheikh for $1 billion.
Yeah.
And
What's
that's
up with that?
yeah, and that's because, and of course the billion is because Turkey is a really wealthy man, right? But the thing
he's
about
oil,
that
man.
is that he's trying to say that the money's lost with how Turkey and the investment from Sela and TKO, which were unified companies between Dana White and Turkey, coming together to form Zuffa. He's trying to say that's taken away from money that they would have made on their promotions. Now, Derek Chisora said a great thing when he heard that, and he fights under Queensberry with Frank Warren. He says, okay, let's just say you win a lawsuit against Turkey. Do the money go to the fighters? You see what I'm saying? You see? So that's what Derek Chisora said.
If he lost money, everybody lost money.
There you go. But do you think that Frank Warren is going to pay the fighters? Fuck no, he's not. Just like people talked about the money that AJ made fighting Jake Paul. Okay? But remember, if you watch my content, I was saying, yeah, if AJ made upwards of 80 million, 84, 85 million or whatever fighting Jake Paul, right? How much money did Hearn and Matchroom make?
Yeah, how about that?
Because he signed to a lifetime contract. Listen, he signed to a lifetime contract with them. Okay? But ain't nobody talking about that, right?
Yeah.
There's the corruption. There's the corruption. Because if they're getting 30% or more or whatever, that's a hell of a chunk. I would love 30% of 84 million. You understand?
80%?
30% of 84 million. Somebody with a calculator or calculating mind, tell me what 30% of 84 million is, please.
Is that like 20 million?
I want that. I want somebody in the chat to actually answer that. What will 30% of 84 million be? Because, see, I don't think people remember. People got short-term memories, man. During the pandemic, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom was still putting on fights in a tented stadium setup on the premises of their home, their plantation. His backyard. His plantation. People forget. Plantation!
Yeah, how about that?
He was hosting fights on his lawn.
25.2 million. If it's 84 million, is it 84 you said? Or 80?
And he didn't throw a fucking punch.
Not one punch. Is it 84 million you said he gets?
Yeah. Now, think about that now. He ain't throw a fucking punch.
$25.2 million Frank Warren made, or what's the name make? Eddie Hearns made off of Joshua.
Now check this out. Keep that figure in your head, you guys. That 25.2 million. Answer me two questions. The first question is why he can't make a fight with somebody with Jerron Boots Ennis. The second question is why is he always losing purse bids?
Always.
Answer me these questions, people. Because I want you to know something. He's losing the purse bids on purpose.
Yeah.
He don't want to pay for nothing.
Why would he do that? He don't want to pay for that. That's what
he don't want to pay for nothing. And he wants the fighters to make a certain amount so he can get his percentage off of them. Do you understand? The fat cat continues to get fatter. Now let's go back to Frank Warren and trying to sue Turkey. Turkey has a bottomless pit of money. He could take Frank Warren to the cleaners with this so-called lawsuit. He can drag Frank through and through and through and through until Frank say, fuck Turk, I'm through. You understand?
Yeah.
And guess what else, people? It was Frank Warren who brought Turkey into boxing to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Aretha Franklin had a song called Who's Zooming Who? Take another look. Who's zooming who? Yeah! Pimping, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now think about it like this. Turkey done bought the Ring magazine. He done invested in the Zone, so he's getting money from there. Matchroom and Queensberry have signed contracts with exclusive contracts with the Zone for the next few years. So it's like he's still getting their money. So even if he pay Frank some money, he getting the money right back. Now, cue that song by Jay-Z, The Big Pimpin', huh? Yeah, because that's what's happening, huh? But you see, they've been doing it to the fighters forever, huh? They've been doing it to the fighters forever. So now, it don't feel so good when your ass is getting the wood, huh? Yeah!
Yeah. Yeah, they get mad. Yeah. They just want their position. Even if Turkey buy them out, they don't want to sell because they can't boss nobody around. They need to boss somebody around. They don't want to be satisfied even with all the money, and they by themselves. They rather boss somebody around and steal their money too.
Dude, it is so freaking ridiculous what they're doing, my brother. It's like, to watch what's happening, it's really an insult to the intelligence of people. It really is. It's an insult to the intelligence of people, because when you see what they're doing, it was okay when they were raping the fighters.
Mm-hmm.
And Turkey became a benefactor for Dana because Turkey came in and he did what was called the Grand Consolidation.
Okay.
He's got contacts and connections with everybody now, including PBC.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point you have to come by way of Turkey. Even with you want your fighter ranked properly, the Ring magazine is the real world recognized champion. So it's, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
The Ring ratings mean something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they've cornered the market. Frank Warren got a whole stable of heavyweights over there, maybe about 12 or 13 guys. But they not fighting each other. What's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Yeah. It's like, what are you doing? You see,
Where
that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. If Dana had 12 or 13 heavyweights, you bet your bottom dollar that they're going to be fighting each other. And the loser will be taking on the next guy who lost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like,
build themselves back up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they just want to see people make money. They just like bossing people around. They want to control everything, and they want to keep everything in limbo and listen to you get mad. They get kicked out of that. Probably even you.
And they want to make they want to make slaves out of the public.
Yeah.
You know, oh, that fight's not ready yet. Why it ain't ready? Eddie Hearn could have made the fight with Lewis Crocker and Devin Haney. Crocker just upset what's his name, Matthias, whatever. You make not Matthias. Who was that Crocker beat? I forget, but I don't know. He got the title. So for him to be a unification fight with Devin Haney, he's like, yeah, I'm down with that. Let me fight Haney, because that'll be the biggest payday of my career. And whether I win, lose, or draw with Devin, I'm gonna be good, right? Mm-hmm. No. Eddie Hearn stood in the way of that. You know why? Because Eddie Hearn wants Devin to sign with him. For what?
Yeah, you don't want that TV.
For what? Yeah. Devin don't need to sign with you. Make the damn fight. Devin is a promoter too. DHP is a promotion. Patty Donovan, thanks EJ. Yeah, he beat Patty Donovan. So it's like that's gonna be the most money. That's just like when the other little guy that fought Shakur, the UK guy that got stopped. Was that who was that? That kid that Shakur stopped. This was before he fought T.O. You know, and that guy was he's like an electrician or something. He was he's a hard hat and lunch pail guy in regular life. He boxed, but he had a regular job. Well, after that fight, Josh Padley, okay, that when Shakur beat him, because that was on a Riyadh promoted event, he made more money than he had ever made in his life and was able to retire from his regular job as an electrician and become a full-time boxer. Think about that. Do you think he could do that with Eddie Hearn? No.
No.
Because Hearn is going to strip him down to the bare essentials, right? And make sure he just got a little bit in his pocket enough for him to come back to him and say, hey, boss, can you make another fight for me? You understand? That's the ultimate pimping, ain't it?
Yeah.
Didn't I just point out the fact that he doesn't win purse bids on purpose?
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I seen that.
So so you heard Eddie Hearn crying the blues about Conor Benn leaving him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like, oh, we went to bat for the guy, and yeah, you did. You went to bat for a drug cheat. You went to bat for a guy who needed to be banned from the sport and suspended at the least, and a guy who has a reputation in the sport going through his family bloodline, allegedly. And that's what you did, Hearn. But as soon as that guy got an opportunity for daylight somewhere else with Zuffa, he left your ass. Now you mad. My bitch left me for another pimp.
Well,
don't get mad. Your bitch chose me. Ain't that the line from the Mac? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But the thing about this is Conor Benn goes right over to Zuffa, $15 million for one fight. Huh?
Wow.
How many fights would he have had to fight for Eddie Hearn to get $15 million?
I don't even think he made $15 million messing with Eddie Hearn.
Thank you. Thank
He
you.
made $5 million.
But Hearn is out here. He done made the rounds. Go out there and look on all the damn UK boxing channels. Hearn is out there sitting in the chair, sitting with a microphone, looking with that sad ass look on his face like, yeah, we did all we could for Conor Benn, but all I needed was a phone call. He should have just called me. That's bullshit. You don't sit up, like that when you fucking over these other fighters. I still ain't forgot what you did to Jessica McCaskill, the welterweight champion, former undisputed from Chicago. Yeah. You really fucked her royally. Even to the degree that the Zone don't even use her on broadcasting anymore. She used to be the undisputed welterweight champion, and she had a broadcasting gig, which she did very well, articulate everything, looked nice, right? But they got rid of her. And it was because she was coming up to a point in her career where her contract with the Zone was getting ready to be done. So Hearn was like, bye-bye, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Yeah. He been doing this shit for a long time. Chris Eubanks Sr. talked about Matchroom and the Hearnses, but Hearn's dad, because that's who he fought under. And the way that they treated him, he put them on the map, Eubanks Sr. And when he was ready to walk away, they tried to strip him down to nothing. when he made that company what it was. Because, you know, Eubank Jr. was really big back in the 90s. He was big. So, and he even defeated Nigel Benn, his nemesis. Yeah. But check this out. He had this portrait of himself sitting in a chair, really decked out, all regal looking, because he was always a well-dressed guy and everything, right? When you walked into the offices of Matchroom Boxing, that his image was up there. It was on the wall. He was like, give me back my picture. I want my picture back. They didn't want to give the man his damn picture, bro. But he got it back. And if you go to Chris Eubanks Sr., I haven't seen any of his fare in a while, but he has a YouTube channel. If you go to his channel and he's sitting there talking, you'll see his picture behind him on the wall. That's him. That's the picture that Matchroom used to have in their offices. Those people are bloodletters, man. Colonizers. And AJ's stupid ass. I don't make this shit up. This is out there. That's right, Jonathan Simon. That's why Junior, he lets into Hearn every chance he get. And he tells the truth. He's like, at their days for the fights that he had with Conor Benn, he would tell the media everything. The people didn't come to hear you talk, Ed Hearn. Shut up. Mute your mic. He's like, they come to see us fight. Because Hearn is always that double talking and shit, acting like he's the fighter's best friend and everything. That's bullshit. And Frank Warren is the opposite. Frank Warren, have you ever seen the movie Snatch? Guy Ritchie directed Snatch. You ever seen that movie?
No. No.
There's a guy in that movie. He wears glasses. And he's like a fight promoter. He's a real nasty SOB. That character is based on Frank Warren, allegedly. In other words, that's the Frank Warren you don't see in front of the cameras and the microphones and everything. Frank will come on, but Frank is not a nice guy at all. There's a reason he got a bullet indentation in his skull. Okay? Allegedly. So let me just say, these people are not nice. Mike Tyson once called it the peddling of the flesh. Huh? That's what they do in boxing. The fighters are the whores. Huh? You got your major money makers. You got the ones who are steady as a rock and steady as rain. Then you got those that are, oh my God, what am I going to do with this bitch right here? You understand? Yeah. Yeah. The Netric Banner, that's exactly who he was based on. That character was based on Frank Warren. They will try to lie and say different things, but no, that's who he is. And he can cuss with the greatest of gusto. His mouth is worse than BFTB. And y'all know BFTB can say some foul words, right? Not like Frank Warren, though. You'd be surprised. Now think of that name, Bricktop. And what did I just say about the guy having a bullet indentation in his head? In order for the bullet not to penetrate the skull, head got to be hard as a what?
Rock.
Brick.
Brick.
You see? See how that shit comes together?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Stormybman. He know the insight. You need to put you in there with the sanctioning bodies, man. You show them how to sanction. Call
No,
a Ring Magazine belt. Put you in there.
no. What we need to do is to continue to embrace the new change that's happening. Accept it. I know sometimes it gets difficult to accept change because you're so familiar with what was and what is, and change makes people uncomfortable. But I'm going to have to tell you something about change. Change is good, huh? Don't you need to change your underwear?
Mm-hmm.
Don't you need to change your fucking stinky ass socks? Hmm? Yeah, change can be good. It's necessary. So with what Zuffa's trying to do, let's embrace it. Because it's hitting a whole lot different from what was. People wanted to say the PBC was doing something. PBC did something for some of those athletes who were smart enough to invest in things like that. But the ones who were going out there and buying all the material possessions and cars and ropes and all of that shit that had no regenerative value to it, they hurting now. But those who were able to kick off their own promotions and stuff like that, they've done better. But that was for a season. This whole thing with Sela, TKO coming together for Zuffa, let me tell you something. I already mentioned earlier, Turkey did the master chess move with consolidation, getting all these promotional companies to be associated with him to some degree, getting the investment into the zone, buying Ring Magazine. He's ingratiated everybody into him. They have to work with him in some capacity. You might get mixed in a little bit, or you might be get mixed in a whole hell of a lot. But you're going to be mixed in. But the benefit is you can do a lot better dealing directly with him than these old heads that have been out there raping and pillaging for generations. And that's what you've seen with those sanctioning bodies and those promoters. This is why a guy like Manny Pacquiao can be retired for 5 years and come back and get a title shot against the likes of Mario de Barrios. What about the other guys who were in the top 5? Why they didn't get their title shot? And they still haven't. Because Ryan Garcia leapfrogged those guys and got a title shot. But what about the men who put in that work? Were they not deserving of their title shot?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? This is the kind of bullshit that goes on in boxing.
They need some heavy regulations, man, with these sanctioning bodies.
That's why Zuffa boxing is going to be different. If you sign up with Zuffa, you're going to get a fight. And if you're good, you're going to get a title fight. And if you become champion, you're going to have to defend. And guess what? The guy you defend against is the guy who can win the damn title. You understand? It's going to be better. Now, if you can't manage your money, whose fault is that? You see? This is the reality, brother. This is the reality, and people are going to realize.
And I think Turkey, he's going to be affected by what's going on with this war over there, too. I mean, the fights that he has over there, that's probably going to be canceled now until they get all that straightened out. And then, you know, his money may be affected, too.
Go back. Excuse me. That's not your problem to worry about. It's really not. You understand? You guys have a hard time focusing on the mere subject of what I'm talking about right here. Why the fuck you worried about that? That's his sorts to work out, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he ain't got no problem putting up money for a fight to take place offshore here in the States.
Yeah.
You got Jao Tai, who's from Australia, defending his cruiserweight position tonight in Vegas for the first time on American soil.
Tonight.
So what is your fascination with what the fuck's going on over there in the Middle East? That's got shit that got to do with you. You see what I mean? And this is why I be trying to tell you guys to focus the fuck up. Because this is how they want you. They want you where your brain is all over the place. You can't even operate in a small space. What the fuck are you expanding beyond your reaches for? And I'm not saying you, B-Mac. I'm when I say you, that's a generalization. I'm talking about people who allow themselves to be drawn into that type of thing. You see what I'm saying? What have I talked about these past 2 hours on my show? I've talked about boxing and the people involved in it and how fucked up it is with the sanctioning bodies and how the fighters need to wake the hell up and make better decisions and do things differently. And I've told you how bad these other people are, pimping the flesh of the fighters. And those are the things that you should double down on and focus on. If a bomb dropped on Chicago today, I couldn't do a damn thing about it. But I had some very damn good boxing conversation before I left up out of here. If you want to be concerned about those kind of things, go get your ass into politics and get you a situation and a platform where you can do better than the ones who are in office. Because they've given you plenty of reason to understand we need somebody else. And if that happens to be the forte, then do it. But in the meantime, in between time, Stormybman gonna bring you the real shit right here today on this subject.
And did Oscar successfully block the Ennis and Ortiz fight?
Yes, he did. And think about it. That's just more of the same of what I'm talking about. Just like Hearn loses belt purse bids on purpose, Oscar interfering with Ortiz and Ennis. Why? It's a good fight. And the thing about it is, if anybody could beat Ennis, it may be Ortiz.
Yeah.
If anybody could beat Ortiz, it may be Ennis.
Ennis.
So they should be fighting. But this is the biggest part of all of that. Neither one of them jokers are a world champion. So they need to go out and do the real footwork and fight world champions, titleists, and then circle back at another time. Because if it were about the best fighting the best, Oscar should have did that. But Oscar, don't forget, got substance abuse problems. So he ain't always in his right frame of mind.
No.
That's Virgil Ortiz's problem. Ain't nobody tell him to set up camp over there. But he did. So I ain't gonna cry no river for his ass. Just like I'm not going to cry no river for Ennis for running over there to sign up with Ed Hearn and Matchroom. What in the world make you think he's going to do for you better than he does for his countrymen? The only thing he
Okay.
managed to do is get Ennis away from being a world titleist without taking a loss. But that's the fucking biggest loss that he ever took. Because as a world titleist, you at least have leverage.
Yeah.
You've got nothing now. Nothing. Zero. Ennis, you're out to sea. You're awash. And guess what? You're 30 years old, at least knocking on the door of it, and you ain't did shit yet. Huh? You ain't did shit. Now you got people out here that's from your home city and all of that shit. Oh, it's great to love a hometown brother or whatever, right? But what's not so great is when people don't fucking tell you the truth and they just love the shit that comes out of your fucking diaper, and then they try to act like they don't smell it. That ain't Stormybman. I'm gonna tell you, take that shitty diaper off, get your ass in the tub, and wash up. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And you don't have to be from Philly to hear that. You can be from here, you can be from there, you can be from any fucking where. You're going to get the real.
Hey, Stormy B, man, let me ask you a question. If you're managing a fighter, who would you sign with? You just go by the deal that you want to get with the promotion?
I'll answer that in one quick second. I want to get to EJ over there in Zuffa rant. He says, Zuffa boxing, the true essence of the best fighting, the best for boxing, the fights that us fans want to see, and none of that bull. That sanctioning body, Zuffa Boxing, is the final boss. Heavyweight. Appreciate you, EJ, with that Zuffa rant. Listen, the first person that I would take a look at is Bill Haney. Because Bill Haney has very positive working relationships with everybody. See, that's what people don't realize. Bill is a diplomat. He understands how to get things done. But see, they don't want to do that because they turn it over where you all fucking idiots out here have bought into the sentiment. I hate Bill. He talked too much. I don't like Devin. He this and that or whatever. But let me tell you what they've done. They've become masters of business. They have. And they have great working relationships with everybody. It's just the independence of Devin is what makes people like Hearn be unhappy, because he's so young and he is running and managing his own show. And he has the wherewithal to take on challenges that are not in his favor because he has been raised with a spirit of being an accomplishing king. He is not worried about decks being stacked against him. He is worried about knocking down walls and barriers that are placed before, because that's what men do. But they're so brainwashed not to invest in black because they think that, oh, if I do that, then the man won't give me a piece of the puzzle or whatever. Devin has done very well, hasn't he? Done very well. But see, you can't see that because you've bought into the sentiment that the other man knows better for you. You don't know better for the other man, do you? But how can you be hung up on what somebody else thinks for you and what's good for you and not know what's good for you your damn self? Now go tell that to Boots Ennis. Even Brian Norman Jr. has started his own promotion company now, which is a great thing. A great thing. We don't know how many will be smart enough to sign up with him, just like there are not very many who are smart enough to sign up with Bill. But we can't listen to you complain because you haven't done your due diligence to pull yourself up out of the annals of subpar. how long you think bums like Keyshawn and Tank and Shitty Cuz gonna be around? How long you think they're gonna be around? There's always a young man cutting his teeth right now, ready to replace him. You ever heard of Javier Herrera?
No.
Well, you better start listening out for the name. I know you know Andy Cruz, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. They're in the same weight class, same division that Shakur and Keyshawn have left. And they left because of that competition. You can fool some of the people some of the time. But you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Remember that, brother.
Yeah. All right, Stormy, I'll let somebody else call.
Yeah.
Call up the line.
All right, man. I appreciate your call, man. You take it easy.
Appreciate talking to you.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
That was Brother B Mac. I know he caught the wrath for some of my fussy fuss, but you know what? It's not personal. It's for projection. Get the message out there. You guys need to wake the hell up. Stop buying into this sewer water that they pumping through the pipe. Mellow Dynasty, what's good? Court the Star Child is out there. Yep. We've had quite a few people out here this evening, this afternoon. Michael James, what's going on? Yep. Tomorrow, the stepping razor. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll end the show on this note here, you know. This Zuffa Cruiserweight title fight this evening with Jai Opetaia against Brandon Glenn should be exciting for as long as it lasts. The hell with the IBF and that bitch move that they pulled. I support the fighters and their elevation at all times. I don't like what Zuffa's doing, but at the same time, these young men will have an opportunity to write their own stories, and that's going to be what it is. So, that being said, I appreciate each and every one of you that came out for the show today. Appreciate the callers. Appreciate the rumble rants and the new faces that have come into the chat space this morning. So with that being said, I hope there was enough to help you to come back and not just to the live stream of Answering the Bell, but check out my premiere videos because I drop them daily and there's always something in the bag for everybody. And just do back into the archives and see what I've been talking about over the past whenever. It's 7 years in at this, and YouTube has done everything to try to hold me in a certain place. But God says He wants me out there. He's gonna put you out there. Understand? I understand that. So, with that being said, we're gonna get them out of here. Shout out to the mighty of the DC. And I will catch you guys on the next. Peace, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your